Mixed signals why women sometimes push away the men they want. Old Stoic wisdom. The closer you get to someone's heart, the more you uncover their fears. Unknown. Why would a woman who clearly desires you suddenly go cold? Why would she stop replying, pull back emotionally, or act distant, especially when things seem to be moving forward? Today, we're unpacking a truth that far too many men overlook. Because here's the twist most men never consider when a woman begins to distance herself. It's not always because she's losing interest. In fact, sometimes it's the exact opposite. See, most men assume distance means disinterest. She stops texting. She must be done. She's acting off. She's probably seeing someone else. But what if her retreat is a sign of vulnerability, not rejection? So they test you, unintentionally. They want to see if you'll respond with pressure or with presence. This is the fork in the road where many men falter. They chase, they overanalyze, they demand clarity, but this only feeds her fear that love means losing herself, that intimacy equals pressure. What if you could approach this moment with quiet strength instead? In today's video, I'll walk you through the real reasons women pull away from the men they care about most, how to spot the emotional cues behind her mixed signals, and what to do calmly, confidently, instead of reacting, because once you understand what's really happening, you'll stop feeling confused and start navigating these moments like a man who's grounded, not desperate. And before we dive in, if you've been learning from my YouTube videos, know that you're only seeing the surface. Let's get into it. Why she's pulling away, and how you can show up with strength instead of confusion. 1. She fears losing control. When a woman begins to develop genuine feelings for you, something deep and uncontrollable happens. Fear creeps in. But it's not fear of you. It's fear of losing control over herself. The more she cares about you, the more she realizes just how much you matter in her life. The more her instinct kicks in to pull back. This isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. In fact, it's often the exact opposite. You're doing everything right. You're consistent. You're showing up when you say you will, making her feel secure, being stable and dependable. But that's precisely what scares her. You've triggered something that goes far beyond simple attraction. For many women, emotional attachment equates to vulnerability. And vulnerability is something they've been taught to avoid. Over the years, she has learned, whether through experience, heartbreak, or observation, that giving herself fully to someone leaves her open to being hurt. Losing control over her feelings means exposing herself to the risk of disappointment, rejection, and, ultimately, heartache. It's a tough pill to swallow when a woman starts slipping, feeling something deeper for you than she intended. The emotions she can't quite manage begin to overwhelm her, and she starts to panic. Her instinctive reaction, unfortunately, is to pull away. This doesn't mean she's not interested or that she doesn't care about you, quite the opposite. In fact, it's because she does care that she feels compelled to retreat. It's a self-protective mechanism, born out of years of emotional conditioning. The more she finds herself thinking about you, caring what you think, wondering if you'll stay, the more the walls she's carefully built around her heart begin to shake. She starts to question how far she can let herself go without losing control, and instead of letting the relationship evolve naturally, she retreats to maintain that control. This fear of emotional vulnerability is ingrained in many women, often from a young age. The idea of falling too hard, of letting someone in too deeply, often feels like opening a door to emotional chaos. When a woman starts to feel deeply for someone, her brain begins to send alarm signals, urging her to back off and regain control of her emotions. For her, control equals safety. The more she cares, the more vulnerable she feels, and the more she worries that she could lose herself in the process. She doesn't want to end up heartbroken or disappointed. She's seen it happen to others, and she's experienced it herself. She's learned that when you allow someone to matter too much, you're setting yourself up for potential pain. And here's the tricky part. This fear is not your fault. You've done everything right. You've been steady, reliable, and kind. You've provided her with the safety and security she craves, and that consistency, what might seem like the perfect, stable foundation for a relationship, actually triggers her fear. Why? Because stability means she's getting too comfortable, and comfort leads to attachment, and attachment, to her, equals potential heartbreak. You might think that by being reliable and consistent, you're showing her that you're trustworthy and worthy of her heart, and you are. But that doesn't mean she's ready to fully embrace those feelings. In fact, when you show up and make her feel secure, it can create a sense of emotional tension she may not be prepared to handle. She's fighting an internal battle between wanting to let go and enjoy the connection with you, and trying to maintain control over her emotions to avoid being hurt. The more she feels herself getting attached, the more she wants to pull back to regain control. She might distance herself, act aloof, or seem distant, but this isn't a reflection of her feelings for you. It's about her internal struggle to keep her emotions in check. This emotional push and pull is confusing, and it's easy to take it personally. You might wonder why she's pulling away when it seemed like things were going so well. But you must understand that this is not a reflection of you. This is her fear, her need for emotional control that has been built up over time. And that fear is not easy to overcome. It's a defense mechanism designed to protect her heart. Her actions are not an indication that she's lost interest. They are her way of trying to safeguard herself from the intensity of emotions she may not be ready to fully experience. The key to navigating this is patience and understanding. Don't take her distancing as a sign that you're doing something wrong. Don't chase after her when she pulls away, because that will only increase her fear. Instead, give her the space she needs. Let her process her emotions at her own pace. If you keep showing up, being consistent, being reliable, and offering her the emotional safety she craves, she will eventually come to understand that she doesn't have to control everything. She doesn't have to be afraid of getting attached, because attachment doesn't mean weakness. It means she's brave enough to trust you with her heart. This process may take time, but it's crucial to stand firm. Be patient, be steady, and most importantly, be trustworthy. She needs to know that even though she pulls away, you will remain where you are, unwavering and understanding. Only then, when she feels secure enough in your presence, will she begin to let go of that fear of losing control. The more consistent you are, the more she will realize that letting herself care deeply doesn't mean she's giving you power over her. It means she's trusting you enough to share something deeply precious, her heart. So when she pulls away, don't panic, be patient, continue to show up, and when she's ready, she'll let you in. Not because you pushed her, but because she's learned that giving you her heart is not a loss of control, but an act of trust. 2. Too much emotion scares her. Gentlemen, let's get one thing straight. Many of you think that once a woman shows strong feelings, love, desire, emotional attachment, the game is over. The assumption is that she'll be all in. You'd think she'd just surrender and let the relationship flow like a calm river. Right, but here's where it gets tricky. The truth is, the stronger her feelings grow, the more unstable she can feel inside. And no, it's not because she doesn't want those feelings. Far from it. It's because they scare her. Now, let's break this down. Society paints women as emotional creatures, more emotional, more open, more willing to bear it all. And yes, on the surface, this is often true. Women tend to express themselves emotionally more than men. But underneath that seemingly emotional exterior, many women are less emotionally stable than you might think. And when those emotions reach a deeper level, especially when they become intense and personal, things get complicated. When it's just flirting, banter, or casual attention, she's fine. In her comfort zone, there's no emotional risk, no vulnerability. But the second those feelings grow into something more, something that matters, that's when things start to shift. Imagine this when she's truly emotionally invested. She's not just playing a game anymore. She's putting herself out there, fully exposed. And that level of exposure is terrifying. Real emotions mean letting her guard down. It means she's open to getting hurt. That's a real risk. And when someone's been burned before, heartbreak, betrayal, or just years of emotional baggage, you better believe that feeling vulnerable is not something she's willing to dive into easily. She's not scared of you, per se. She's scared of what you now represent the power to hurt her. You now have the ability to break her heart. It's like she hands you a weapon without even realizing it. And that's where things get tricky. Instead of embracing the connection, she pulls away. Not because she doesn't feel it, quite the opposite. She pulls away because she feels it too much. It's as if her heart's racing on a roller coaster she didn't sign up for. And when the ride feels like it's out of control, the instinct is to bail out. It's not about you or her not wanting to be with you. It's about her fear of what could happen if things go deeper, if her heart truly becomes exposed. Think about it. In the beginning, everything's light and breezy. Flirting is fun. It's playful. There's no pressure. But when things start getting real, when those feelings start sinking in, the depth of emotion becomes a heavy weight. That weight can feel suffocating. She'll start questioning how much of her emotional stability is being handed over to you. She wonders if this feeling of vulnerability will lead to a crash. And as much as she may care for you, that's a scary place to be. Some women have been through past relationships that have left deep scars. They've trusted, loved, and been let down in painful ways. So, when you come along and make her feel something real, that old fear resurfaces. The fear of getting hurt again. And the worst part, she can't always tell you why she's pulling back. From her perspective, it's safer to back off than to risk getting burned. She doesn't want to hurt you. She doesn't want to hurt herself either. But when emotions run wild, control slips away, and that loss of control feels like a threat. Here's the thing. Don't assume that emotional withdrawal means she doesn't care. It means the opposite. She's feeling it so intensely that her only defense is to step back and regain control of the situation. Be patient. Give her the space she needs. Don't chase her or press her to open up. Instead, show her that you're trustworthy, that you understand the risk she's taking by letting her guard down. You must prove that you won't hurt her. That is the key to building real emotional intimacy. If you push too hard when she's trying to retreat, you risk pushing her away for good. It's a delicate dance. The secret: be steady, be grounded, let her come to you when she's ready. Show her that you can handle the weight of her emotions without losing your own balance. It's not about rushing. It's about knowing that real emotional connection takes time and trust. In the end, you must understand that when a woman pulls away, it's not because she doesn't want you. It's because she's afraid. Be the man who can show her that she has nothing to fear. 3. She's testing your strength. In the intricate dynamics between men and women, there is often a defining moment when a woman shifts. Everything feels perfect at first, a strong vibe, genuine chemistry, and a deep connection that seems unbreakable. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, she starts acting differently, cold, distant, even confusing. The messages become mixed, leaving many men wondering what went wrong, feeling like they've made a mistake. What many don't realize, however, is that nothing has gone wrong at all. This shift, this sudden emotional withdrawal, is often a test, one that's not random and certainly not without purpose. She doesn't consciously recognize she's doing it, but deep down, her instincts are in full force, pushing her to ask herself, can this man handle it when I pull away? Will he fold when I stop giving him what he wants, or will he stay strong, stay grounded, no matter the emotional pressure? This is the critical moment when many women subconsciously separate the men they like from the men they'll eventually submit to emotionally. It's not about physical dominance or aggression. It's about emotional control and stability. She wants to see if you can weather the storm when the emotional tides shift, when she creates chaos, or when her moods swing in unpredictable directions. She wants to know if you can maintain your composure, stay grounded, and stand tall when everything feels uncertain. This test is not about manipulating you. It's about testing your strength, testing your emotional resilience. When she throws emotional chaos your way, whether it's silence, mood swings, or pulling away entirely, your response, your reaction, reveals your true character. It shows whether you're a man of emotional strength or one of insecurity. The way you handle this emotional upheaval will instantly tell her everything she needs to know about you. If you react with desperation, If you chase her and beg for her attention, she'll see that you lack the emotional stability and self-control that she needs from a partner. But if you remain unshaken, calm, and steady, she'll recognize that you are a man who can handle life's challenges, one who can be relied upon to maintain his composure no matter the storm. The key here is understanding that this is not a game of power or control. This is a test of your emotional maturity. She is not trying to punish you, but rather, she is assessing whether you have the strength and discipline to lead with emotional control. You are not expected to be unaffected by her actions, but you are expected to show that you can maintain your center despite them. A woman wants to know that you won't be thrown off course by her moods or emotions, that you won't lose yourself when she pulls away, that you won't become desperate or needy. She wants to see if you can stay emotionally grounded and handle the tension, if you have the fortitude to lead through uncertainty. When you respond calmly, with unwavering confidence, you show her that you are not dependent on her emotional responses to validate your own worth. You exhibit emotional control, a powerful trait that not only commands her respect, but also earns her trust. As the Old Stoic wisdom teaches us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. When you stop reacting emotionally to external events, when you stop allowing the ebb and flow of another person's mood to dictate your own, you unlock a deeper level of inner peace and strength. This is what women ultimately want. A man who can provide them stability, not through dominance or force, but through emotional strength. As you face this test, remember the words of the legendary philosopher, Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. The same applies to your relationships. You must train yourself to control your emotional responses, to keep your thoughts steady and grounded. Don't give in to the temptation to chase her or respond with insecurity. Instead, show her that you are unwavering in your self-control, that you can stand firm in the face of emotional adversity. When you learn to remain strong in the face of emotional upheaval, you prove your worth, not only to her, but to yourself. She will respect you more, trust you more, and ultimately be drawn to you more. She will want to submit emotionally to a man who is stable, reliable, and who does not allow his emotions to control him. In the end, it's not about the external circumstances. It's about how you choose to respond to them. You must stay grounded, stay composed, and show her that you are a man of emotional strength. That's the ultimate test. Don't fail it. Stay strong, stay centered, and you will win her respect and love. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. 4. Her past trauma is in charge. When it comes to understanding why a woman sometimes pushes away the very man she seems to want, it's essential to dig deeper. There's a hidden layer at play here that's often misunderstood: her past trauma. You might think you're dealing with the woman standing right in front of you, the one smiling, the one laughing, the one showing interest and affection. But what you might not realize is that, more often than not, you're actually facing the echoes of everything she's gone through before. Her reactions, her sudden emotional distance, the withdrawal, or even the anger, they don't always have anything to do with you, but everything to do with what she's been through in the past. Her emotional scars, betrayals, lies, infidelities, or manipulation don't just vanish. These wounds leave deep marks, and those marks shape how she sees the world and how she connects with others, including you. Even if she truly likes you, even if she wants to build something real and meaningful, her trauma has the power to hijack that connection. It's like a shadow that follows her, often without her even realizing it. It's important to understand this, because men often struggle in this area. They want to fix things, to heal her, to talk her out of her fears. But the truth is, you cannot fix someone else's trauma. No amount of talking or reassuring can undo the emotional damage she's experienced in her past. You may try to convince her that you're not like the others, that you're different, that you're trustworthy and safe. But here's the hard truth you must come to terms with. You are not her therapist, and you are not responsible for healing her wounds. You can't fix her, and you shouldn't try. That's not your job. Your job, however, is to remain grounded, to be the calm, steady presence that doesn't buckle under pressure. No matter how unpredictable or irrational her reactions may seem, you need to stay calm, centered, and true to yourself. You cannot let her emotional turmoil force you to react in ways that disrupt your own stability. The key is to remain unmoved by the emotional chaos. Do not take it personally when she pulls away, when she distances herself, or when she shuts down. These reactions aren't always about you. They're often about the unresolved trauma she's carrying. The emotional scars she's holding onto might be driving her behavior in ways you don't fully understand. It's vital to realize that you can't control how she heals, nor should you try. You can't rush her process or demand that she heal on your timeline. Only she can choose when and how to confront her past and move forward. Your role in this isn't to save her or fix her. It's simply to be there, grounded, stable, and consistent. When you allow her space to process her emotions without trying to change her or fix her, you give her the freedom to heal on her terms. Mixed signals. Sometimes they're not about your actions at all. Sometimes they're simply reflections of the wounds she hasn't healed. Your job is not to rush her healing, but to support her through it without letting her past define how you show up in the relationship. Keep in mind that healing is a journey, and sometimes your best approach is to show patience, understanding, and strength, all without trying to fix the unfixable. 5. Closeness feels like danger. Here's something you must understand for most men. Emotional closeness feels like progress. You get closer to a woman, and you feel like you're achieving something, that you're moving forward, you're bonding, you're connecting. It's a sign that things are moving in the right direction. But for some women, closeness feels like the complete opposite. It feels like a threat. You may not realize it, but when you get closer to a woman emotionally, you're starting to peel back the layers she's so carefully built. You're seeing past the makeup, the charming smile, and the carefully curated version of herself that she presents to the world. You're approaching the raw, unfiltered version of her, the version that she's been hiding for a long time. And let's be clear here, she isn't hiding it because she doesn't trust you. No, it's much deeper than that. She's hiding it because she's afraid. When you get too close, you start seeing the parts of her that are insecure, anxious, and scared. The parts of her that are vulnerable, the parts that are messy and real. For her, that's dangerous, because in her mind, vulnerability is a double-edged sword. The closer you get, the more you can hurt her. And here's the kicker. It's not that she doesn't want to be close to you. That's the paradox. She does. But the more she allows herself to be seen, to truly be seen, the more she feels exposed. The more she feels like you might judge her, or worse, leave her. That fear triggers a defense mechanism she pulls back. Don't mistake this as a sign of rejection. It's not personal. It's self-preservation. She's not pulling away because you did something wrong, but because she's protecting herself from emotional harm. She might feel like, if she lets you in too much, you'll see the parts of her that are imperfect, and you'll walk away. That is the harsh truth she fears the most. This is where Old Stoic wisdom comes into play. The Stoics believed in mastering their emotions and understanding human nature. They knew that fear, insecurity, and anxiety are universal human experiences. What they also understood was that you must embrace vulnerability, not run from it. To be truly seen is to show your imperfections, your flaws, your fears, and still stand strong. But for some women, this is easier said than done. Now, here's the thing. You must not take her pulling away personally. It's a defense mechanism. She's afraid. Her fear is the problem, not you. She's not rejecting you. She's trying to protect her most fragile parts, the parts she hasn't shown anyone else. So, when she pulls back, give her space, but don't disappear. Let her know that you see her, flaws and all, that you understand her fear, and that you're not going anywhere. This may be difficult for you, especially if you're the type who wants to rush forward in the relationship. But slow down. Be patient. Acknowledge that her emotional safety comes first. You can't force someone to feel safe. You can't rush them into vulnerability. It's a gradual process. Here's a key piece of advice. Don't push her too hard when she pulls back. Don't chase her or demand explanations. Instead, let her know that you're there. You're present, that you won't judge her, that you're okay with her imperfections. Sometimes, just being steady and consistent is enough to show her that you're trustworthy. That's the paradox of closeness. It can feel like progress to you, but to her, it can feel like stepping into a dangerous, unknown territory. Your job isn't to rush her, but to create a safe space where she feels comfortable letting her guard down. You must let her know that no matter how close you get, you won't judge her, that you can see the real her and still accept her. Don't let the fear of emotional intimacy make you retreat. Keep showing up, keep being there, even when she pulls back. Trust the process. Eventually, she'll feel safe enough to lean in again. And when she does, you'll be the man who saw her for who she really is, and stayed. If you find this valuable, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I'm emotionally safe and worthy of love, just as I am. 6. She wants reassurance without asking. In life, men often face confusion when it comes to understanding women's behavior, especially when they pull away or create tension, seemingly pushing the men they desire. You may wonder why she's acting cold, distant, or unresponsive. This is not some game she's playing with you. No, it's something far more significant. It's a test of your consistency, your reliability, your strength. Women, especially those who have been hurt before or have faced emotional challenges, often need reassurance, but won't ask for it directly. Why? Because asking feels like an exposure of vulnerability, a risk they are unwilling to take. They avoid asking because vulnerability feels like a threat, not a choice. It makes them feel weak. They want to know, without having to ask, whether you'll be there when things aren't easy. When she distances herself, it's not a rejection of you. It's a silent call for confirmation. Will he stay, she asks herself, without ever saying it aloud? If I don't text, will he chase me? Or will he stay calm if I pull away? Will he collapse emotionally? Or will he remain steady and grounded? These aren't games or manipulative tactics. This is her way of protecting her heart. She's been hurt before, and she's careful about giving it away to someone who might not be reliable. It's about testing your consistency, your strength, and your emotional steadiness. It's about seeing whether you'll be there for her, whether you'll show up consistently, not just in good times, but when things are uncertain, when there's distance between you. This is a vital piece of the puzzle. If you fail to recognize it, you risk losing her. Don't let this test shake your resolve. If you respond to her coldness with strength, with calm, with unwavering consistency, you show her that you are a safe space for her heart. You prove that you are reliable, someone she can count on when the world gets uncertain. When she pushes you away, stand firm in your position. Let her test you. Show her your confidence. Stay composed. A woman's heart is a deep ocean of secrets. As the famous quote from Titanic reminds us, the ocean, vast and mysterious, does not change with every wave. Just as the sea remains constant no matter the weather, you must remain constant, no matter her actions. Don't fold under pressure. Don't chase her when she pulls away. Stay calm. Stay strong. Let her feel the security in your steadiness. This is the kind of man she needs. The kind of man you must become if you want her to trust you completely. Be the rock that she needs when the emotional waves come crashing. You must prove that you won't crumble under emotional pressure. You must show that you are the man who will stand strong, even when she's unsure. This is your challenge, your moment to shine, rise to it. This is how you show her, without saying a word, that you are worthy of her heart. Keep your composure. Stay consistent. In every instance when she distances herself, let her know through your actions that you will remain. Be the man who doesn't waver when the tests come. Show her, without fail, that you are here for the long haul. This is how you earn her trust. This is how you earn her love. When she pulls away, she's not trying to push you out. She's simply looking for proof that you are strong enough to stay. You must prove that. Rise above. Let her know that, no matter what, you are unshaken, you are unbreakable, and in doing so, you will win her heart completely. 7. Your reaction decides everything. When it comes to relationships, especially with women, your reaction is everything. The truth is, you can't control how she feels, but you can control how you respond, and that response will determine the outcome of everything that follows. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that every action demands an emotional reaction. Too many men panic when a woman pulls away, overreacting with emotional outbursts or demands for clarity. They get anxious, thinking they need to fix something right away. But here's the thing. Real strength doesn't lie in reacting. It lies in restraint. When she pulls away, don't lose your head. Stay calm. Your response will set the tone for everything that comes next. A woman's behavior can be confusing, and her emotional state can shift like the weather. But this is where the game changes. This is where you can show your true worth. She might be testing you or withdrawing to evaluate your emotional resilience. If she's distant, don't chase her with desperation. Don't bombard her with texts or calls, demanding answers to questions that might not even need to be asked. Keep your composure, and don't engage in emotional back and forth. If she's acting cold, don't mirror that behavior. Don't withdraw, become distant, or adopt a defensive attitude. Instead, stay warm, but with an air of calm composure. When you react with steady confidence, it will send the signal that you aren't easily shaken, no matter how the situation unfolds. The worst thing you can do is overreact or try to fix everything by pushing for her to feel differently. That desperation only weakens you in her eyes. This is where most men falter. They think love always looks like affection. But that's not the case. Love is more complex than that. Sometimes love looks like distance. Sometimes it takes the form of silence or withdrawal. But beneath that surface-level distance, there's often a deeper longing. An unspoken question: can she trust your strength? Even when she's not exactly being easy to love, you must understand. The key here is to remain centered and unaffected by her fluctuating emotions. If you let her mood swings dictate your actions, you've already lost. You have to stay grounded and secure in who you are, no matter what she's doing or how she's acting. This is the essence of true strength in a relationship. You are a rock in the storm, someone who remains unflinching in the face of uncertainty. Don't let her test your strength. Show her what it looks like by staying calm, composed, and in control. Only then will she be able to trust that, no matter how difficult things get, you will remain unwavering. It's easy to get caught up in the moment and believe you need to chase after answers or pull her back in. But that's a mistake. The strongest thing you can do is to stay in your power, in your steadiness. So, remember, your reaction decides everything. You can't control how she feels, but you have total control over how you respond, and that will shape everything that follows. Stay steady, stay strong, and stay unshaken, because that's what she truly needs to see. The woman you want to be with needs to know that your strength is not fragile, that it's a steady force she can rely on. No matter what, you must prove that you can be the calm in the chaos, the stability she can count on, even when she's pulling away or testing you. In the end, your response is everything. Don't let it be a moment of panic. Make it one of strength. Final words. Hey there, before we wrap up, let me leave you with this. If she can break you emotionally, she can never fully love you. Not because she's cruel, but because, deep down, she needs to see your strength when hers is faltering. That's what earns her respect. And without respect, love doesn't last. So, here's the real advice. Always stay grounded. Don't lose your sense of self in someone else's emotional waves. Your own strength is not just attractive, it's essential. And remember, real love starts with mutual respect, and that's built through emotional stability, not chaos. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever dealt with a woman who pushed you away just as things were getting deep? Share your experience in the comments below. This channel isn't just about advice. It's about building real strength among men who've been confused, frustrated, and misled. you're not alone in this. Stay in this space, and I'll show you how to rise above emotional games and lead with power, clarity, and calm. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.